All right. Hello, everybody. My name is Ethan Bacall. I'm here today with my colleagues Natalie Wang and Nan Nguyen. And this is our poster for our leading causes of death among Chinese Americans, 2006 to 2017 study. So the purpose of our study is to describe the leading causes of mortality among Chinese Americans for those given years and to compare trends in mortality by nativity, sex, and non-Hispanic whites. And so Chinese Americans are the largest Asian American subgroup and a very fast growing group. But the research on their mortality is very limited. So given that there's this huge knowledge gap and unknown, this is what we decided to do our research on. So the methods for our study are that it's a retrospective observational study. Our data comes from the CDC's National Vital Statistics System based on death certificate data. Our population data comes from the American Community Survey. We included those with known immediate cause of death, age, sex, and race, as well as monoracial non-Hispanic whites or Chinese. We determined our counts using the methods of the NVSS leading causes of death report. And our statistical analysis was that we did a proportion of deaths by cause within the 10 leading causes, as well as AMRs per 100,000. And then we used 1-year AMRs to do linear regression to look at trends across time.
And then for the results, we have the table showing the 10 leading causes of death among Chinese Americans. We also showed the ranking for US-born Chinese Americans and foreign-born Chinese Americans. In the next figure, we just show the proportion of each cause within the 10 leading causes among US-born and foreign-born Chinese, comparing female to male. Then in the third figure, we show the 12-year AMRs for the leading 3 causes, since the first 3 causes take up a large proportion. Some main takeaways are just the differences between foreign-born to US-born, and then you'll notice that males tend to have higher rates than females. And then finally, in the last 3 figures, we just show the linear regression of the annual AMRs for each of the first 3 causes. We do plan to do a joint point regression later on, just because these linear regressions are still a bit preliminary.
Altogether, we conclude that the US-born Chinese Americans have higher rates of mortality due to heart disease, while foreign-born Chinese Americans have relatively higher rates of mortality due to cancer. And we identified 3 main limitations of our study. First, multiracial Chinese were not included. Secondly, there is relatively high misclassification among Asian Americans in the death certificate data. And finally, the ACS data collection method is prone to sampling error, which we are working to correct for.